శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ 2008 లో స్థాపించిన కళాశాలలో ఎంబీఏ, నాక్ ఏ గ్రేడ్ మరియు ఐఎస్ఓ సర్టిఫికేషన్ సాధించిన మొట్టమొదటి కళాశాల శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ త్వరలో అటానమస్ కాబోతోంది.
2014లో ఐఎస్ఓ గుర్తింపు, 2015లో రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వంచే ఏ గ్రేడ్, 2016లో నాక్ ఏ గ్రేడ్, ఇప్పుడు ఎన్బీఏ సాధించిన సంస్థ శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ.
We'll discuss about combinational logic circuits. Now all the digital circuits which are in the real environment, or else the digital circuits which are existing today, now all those might be combinational circuits, or else they might be sequential circuits. Now in this session we'll discuss about combinational circuits, and later on we'll discuss about the sequential circuits, and we'll also discuss the different types of combinational circuits and how we are going to use those combinational circuits in some applications. Okay, so let us start this discussion with the definition of a combinational circuit. Logic circuits for digital systems may be combinational or sequential, as just now I said, and a combinational circuit consists of input variables, logic gates and output variables. Now if you take, or if you consider any kind of combinational circuit, it contains input variables, output variables as well as the logic gates. Okay, now here you can see a simple block diagram of a combinational circuit which is accepting n inputs and providing us m outputs. Okay, now these m outputs of this combinational circuit totally depends on the present state of the inputs. Okay, now these outputs are only depending on the present inputs. So if you are giving an input at a time x, then based on those inputs you will get the output. Okay, that is what combinational circuit. So it will accept n inputs and it provides m outputs, and the outputs totally depends on the present inputs. Now let us see how to design a combinational circuit. Okay, so in order to design a combinational circuit we have to follow all these 4 steps. Now let us see what are those. From description of the problem, identify the inputs and outputs and draw a block diagram. So from the given problem we have to identify the inputs as well as the outputs, and then we have to draw a simple block diagram just I have shown in the previous case. Okay, where I have drawn a simple block diagram with the help of some inputs as well as some outputs. So in the same way we have to identify the inputs and outputs, then we have to draw a block diagram. Okay, now what is the second step? Draw the truth table such that it completely describes the operation of the circuit for different combinations of input. Okay, so in the previous sessions we have seen how to get the truth table from a given problem or else from a given expression. So we have to draw the truth table for the given problem from the block diagram, or else from the expression, or else from the given problem. Okay, where the truth table is going to give us the relationship between the input with output with different combinations. Now simplify the truth table using K-map. So we have to simplify. Initially we have to plot all the minterms of the truth table of the output expression on the K-maps, and then we have to simplify the expression. Implement the expression using logic gates. So after getting a final expression we have to implement that particular expression with the help of logic gates. Okay, so these are all the 4 steps that we have to follow for designing any kind of combinational circuit. Now let us see with an example where I have took some expressions. Okay, now based on these expressions I have drawn a logic circuit. This is already we have seen in the previous sessions. Okay, F2, T2, F1, F1, these are the labels of, or else these are the output labels of a gate. Okay, and A, B, C are the inputs. So for the given expressions I have drawn this kind of combinational circuit. We call it as a combinational circuit. Why? Because it is having inputs, it is having outputs, along with it is having the logic gates. Okay, now let us take an example. Okay, we can derive the truth table. Okay, so for the above function, okay, I have derived the truth table, that is F2, T1, T2, T3 and then F1. Okay, so I have derived the truth table. Now I have to plot all these ones. or else all these minterms on the K map for reducing the expression. Okay, let us take a problem. From the problem, we'll identify the inputs and outputs, and then we'll design a combinational circuit. Okay, so here code conversion example. First, we can list the relation of the BCD and X3 codes in the truth table. Actually, the question here is we have to find a combinational circuit which converts a BCD value into an X3 value. Already we people know what is a BCD value and what is a X3 code. Okay, so BCD is a representation which is used for representing any decimal digit with 4 binary bits. Okay, for example, if I want to represent a decimal digit 9, then I'm going to represent it by using 4 binary bits, that is 1001. So every decimal digit is represented by using 4 bits in BCD. Okay, and X3 is nothing but if you add 3 to the resultant BCD, then you will get X3 code. Okay, now let us see, let us draw the truth table here. A, B, C, D are inputs. I have considered A, B, C, D as inputs, and then W, X, Y, Z are outputs. Now I am giving the input as a BCD value, and I'm getting the output as an X3 code. Okay, so here my first input is 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, therefore I'll get 0, 0, 1, 1. Why? Because by adding 3 to this BCD input, you'll get the X3 code output. Okay, so BCD values will range from 0 to 9. Therefore, I have written the combinations from 0 to 9 and their respective outputs in X3 code. Okay, now all the other combinations like 1010 from 1010 to all ones, that is 1111. Okay, all these are don't care conditions. Why? Because here we have totally 4 variables, but we are only going with 9 combinations or 10 combinations. Okay, and the remaining combinations will not exist in the circuit. So therefore those combinations are called as don't care combinations. Okay, now we have to plot the K map. Just now I said, so we have to plot the K maps for these minterms, that is for the expression for W, for the output W. Okay, we have some minterms, and all these minterms should be plotted on a single 4 variable map. And then for X, these minterms should be plotted on 4 variable map, and then Y and Z should also be plotted on 4 variables map. Okay, along with the don't care combinations. So here I have plotted all those minterms on 4 variable maps along with don't care conditions. Okay, if you can see here, for example, if I take the Z function, okay, so here the Z function minterms are 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. Okay, so here 0, 2, 4, 6 and then 8. Okay, and remaining all these are, these X denotes don't care combinations. Okay, now in order to group, or in order, so I have made here a block whose size is 8. Okay, as you can see there, therefore I got the final expression as Z equals D complement. Why? Because here on the left hand side, that is A and B, okay, A and B values are changing, okay, or varying. Okay, and C and D, when it comes to C and D, only the value which is present in D is constant, that is 0, so that is why it is represented as complement, that is D complement. Right, so in the same way I have plotted the other outputs, the other output minterms on the K maps. Okay, that is X, Y and W, and then I have got the simplified expressions. Okay, I got these simplified expressions just because I have included these don't care terms. Okay, now after getting the expressions, then we have to draw the logic diagram. Okay, so here this is the logic diagram which is implemented based on the output expressions. Clear? Okay, so this is how we are going to design any kind of combinational circuit. Now let us see some of the combinational circuits that we use generally in our real-time scenario, like adders. The first combinational circuit is adders. So adder is a circuit that performs addition between two numbers. as we know that adders are mainly used for performing addition between two numbers, and these two numbers might be decimal, binary, hexadecimal, octal. But when it comes to digital systems, as we operate only on binary numbers, now here these adders are called as binary adders. Okay, for now these are classified into two types, that is half adder and a full adder. So initially we'll discuss about half adder, then we'll move on to full adder. Now what is a half adder? A combinational circuit that performs the addition of two bits is called a half adder. So if you want to perform addition of two 1-bit operands, then we have to use a half adder circuit. Okay, now here the two inputs, as we know that there would be two inputs, okay, and you'll get two outputs, and those two outputs are called as carry and then sum. Okay, now this is what the truth table of the half adder circuit. Okay, and if you have two inputs, then you'll get totally 4 combinations, that is 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Okay, if 0 is added with 0, then carry is 0 and sum is 0. If 0 is added with 1, then carry is 0, sum is 1. If 1 is added with 0, then carry is 0 and sum is 1. If 1 is added with 1, then you'll get the carry as 1 and sum as 0. As you can see here, 1 plus 1 in decimal is nothing but 2, and in binary it is nothing but 1 0. Okay, now so you have got the truth table. Now you have to plot the K-map for C as well as for S. Okay, so I have plotted the K-maps, and I've got this kind of expression where you can see sum equals x complement y plus x y complement, and C equals xy. Okay, so by looking at this expression, we can say that now S is implemented, or some function is implemented as XOR function, and carry function is implemented as AND function. Okay, now as I have got the expressions, now I'm going to implement these expressions with the help of logic diagram, that is with the help of logic gates. Okay, so here you can see xy bar. So as one of the minterm is xy bar, so I have took one AND gate and one more AND gate whose inputs are x bar and y. Now these outputs are odd, so that we'll get the function S. Okay, and here C is called xy, so it is performing an AND function, therefore you have to give two inputs x and y to the AND, therefore the output is C. As I told you that now this S is implementing XOR, so instead of all these three gates, I can only go with one XOR gate, okay, and then one AND gate. Now this is what the representation of a half adder circuit, which performs addition between two 1-bit operands. Here x and y are two 1-bit operands. Okay, now let us see what is a full adder. Why do we have to go for full adder? Okay, if we want to perform addition between two 2-bit operands, or else two operands which are holding more than 1 bits, then you have to go with full adder. Okay, now what is this full adder? One that performs the addition of 3 bits, 2 significant bits and a previous carry is a full adder. Okay, so here this full adder is mainly used for performing addition between 3 bits, okay, where one of the bit is the previous carry and the remaining 2 bits are the operands. Okay, now here, so from this we can easily say that there are totally 3 inputs, and then we'll get 2 outputs, that is sum and carry. As you have 3 inputs, so you'll get totally 8 combinations, that is 0 to 7. Okay, and here you can see if you, okay, this combination 0 1 1, okay, here you can see that carry is 1 and sum is 0, and for 1 0 0 carry 0, sum is 1, and for 1 0 1 here carry is 1 and sum is 0, and then 1 1 0 carry is 1, sum is 0, and for 1 1 1 carry is 1 as well as sum is 1. Okay, now as we got truth table, then we have to get the expressions for C and S by plotting these minterms on the K maps. Okay, so I have plotted the minterms of C and S on the K map, then I got this kind of expression for sum, and this is what the expression for carry. Okay, S and C. Now this is what the implementation of sum and carry with logic gates. There you can see you have 4 minterms. Okay, therefore 4 AND gates, and they are odd, then you'll get a sum function. 3 minterms, therefore 3 AND gates in the carry, and they are odd to get the carry function. Okay, now this is the another implementation of the full adder, where it is implemented by using 2 half adder circuits along with 1 OR gate. Okay, if you can see sum function, we have got this sum function. Now in these 2 minterms, okay, I took common as z bar, then I'll get x y bar plus x bar y plus, now out of these 2 minterms I took common as z, therefore I'll get this. Now this looks similar like XOR operation. Okay, assuming that z as a and this as b. Okay, therefore a complement b plus a b complement. So it looks similar like XOR operation, therefore the expression or final expression that we get is z XOR of x XOR y. In the same way, if you simplify the carry function, then you'll get this, that is xy plus z s1. Okay, so as you have to perform x XOR y, therefore I took one XOR gate with 2 inputs x and y. Okay, now I consider this output as s1. Okay, next, as I have to implement xy here in the carry function, so I took one AND gate whose output is xy. Okay, now as I have to implement z XOR of x plus x XOR of y. Okay, so here we got s1, that is given as an input, and the other input for this XOR gate is z. Okay, in the same way, so here you have to get z s1, therefore I took one AND gate where one of the input is z and the other input is s1. Now this is given as an input to OR gate, so you will get sum and carry in this way. So by using 2 half adders you can design a full adder. Now up to now we have seen full adder is mainly used for performing addition between 2 operands which are holding 2 bits. Okay, and half adder is mainly used for performing addition between 2 operands which are holding only 1 bit. Now if I want to perform an addition between an n bit operands, where assuming that n equals to 5, then how many full adders do I require? So definitely I require 5 full adders. Now I have to give the carry of the previous stage to the as an input to the next stage. Okay, so this is how we are going to make a circuit for adding 4-bit binary number. Okay, and this kind of circuit is called as a ripple carry adder. Okay, there you can see a and b are 2 operands which are holding 4-bit numbers. Okay, that is a0 to a3 and b0 to b3. Now all these inputs are given directly or at the same time to 4 full adders. Okay, along with these inputs we are giving one carry. That carry is 0 now. Why? Because initial carry would be 0, so I am giving 0. Therefore I would get the output S0, S1, S2 and S3. C1 is the carry output which we get from the full adder circuit. Now that is given as an input to the next stage. So in the same way, if you are doing this, then you'll get the final carry as C4. Okay, so this is how you are going to perform addition between 2 operands which are holding multiple bits. Okay, but the drawback that is associated with this ripple carry adder is propagation delay. Okay, let us see what is that. So here I have applied all the inputs at the same time. Now only this, for the first time, only this full adder would be performing the addition operation, and the remaining full adders would be in an idle state. Why? Because they did not receive any carry from the previous stage. Okay, until they receive a carry they will not perform any operation. Now after completely adding these 2 bits along with the carry, now this full adder will generate a carry. Now this full adder would be processing these inputs along with the carry. Now during that time these two full adders would be ideal again. Okay, now this so in order to perform addition between these 4-bit binary number, okay, some delay is generated here. Okay, that delay is just because of these full adders. Okay, that is called as propagation delay, and this is the only drawback that is associated with ripple carry adder. Okay, see, causes a unstable factor on carry bit and produces a longest propagation delay. As just now I said, the signal from Ci to the output carry Ci plus 1. Okay, that is, for example, I equals 0, therefore Ci would become 0, C0, and Ci plus 1 is nothing but 1. Okay, so the signal from Ci to the output carry Ci plus 1 propagates through an AND OR gates. As we know that full adder is made up of AND OR gate. So for an n-bit RCA, there are 2 n gate levels for the carry to propagate from input to output. Okay, so a long propagation delay is generated with the help of this ripple carry adder, and this is the drawback that is associated with RCA. And in order to avoid this drawback, we are using one more circuit, and that circuit is named as carry look ahead adder. Okay, so we'll discuss this carry look ahead adder in the next session. Okay, thank you.